I promise to never make another video like this again.
Don't make promises that you can't keep.
Broken promises got between me and you. Whoa, no.
Midnight's Edge. Oh boy, where do I even begin? I know a lot of you here are hoping to see me debunk their magnum opus of conspiracy theories that is their latest video. The problem is I really can't. Not because I don't want to, and believe me I do, but because 78% of their video is unverifiable conjecture about the current state of Star Trek. No, really. They even include a warning here at 16 minutes and 3 seconds, saying that the remainder 33 minutes and 48 seconds of their video isn't verifiable to any source for 100% accuracy. They do include some articles about JJ running off because of merchandising, the 25% rule which was later recanted, while also layering in real facts in between their assumptions to pass it all off as the truth.
While Paramount and Bad Robot can't prevent CBS from licensing the likenesses associated with the original canon, they can blur the lines in the public's perception of what canon is.
But overall, there's no proof that you can really sink your teeth into as reliable fact. So, it puts people like me in an awkward position. I know that what you're saying is nothing more than a conspiracy theory, but how can I disprove the information you're passing off to your audience? Well, let's talk about what we do know for sure. In 2005, Viacom divided itself into two separate corporate entities, CBS Corporation and a redubbed Viacom. The CBS television studio, which fell under CBS Corporate, retained the intellectual property rights to Star Trek, while Paramount Pictures, which fell under the new Viacom, retained all Trek films in their library and had exclusive rights to produce new Star Trek feature-length movies. The other thing we know for certain is neither Bad Robot or Paramount Pictures is producing or developing Star Trek Discovery. However, CBS did hire Alex Kurtzman and many of his Bad Robot team members to be involved with their new Star Trek show, with Kurtzman creating an entirely new production company titled Secret Hideout to handle this daunting task. These are the cold hard facts. There is no theory or ambiguity here, and all of which can be verified externally through many media and legal outlets. And that's pretty much where the debunking stops, because if Midnight's Edge is to be believed, everything else is all one giant conspiracy theory after another regarding Star Trek. Let's do a visual. I'm a visual guy, and it helps me out a lot. So this is the current rights setup that we know as cold hard facts post the 2005 Viacom split. Now, if ME is to be believed, when J.J. Abrams and Paramount Pictures wanted to create a new Trek film franchise, they approached CBS about an entirely new alternate Star Trek license deal that would allow Paramount and Bad Robot to utilize major parts of the Star Trek brand to create the Kelvin universe. CBS approved of this deal so long as the Kelvin stuff was at least 25% different than what the OG Trek franchise looked or sounded like. Sometime during the pre-production of Star Trek Beyond, CBS, Paramount, and Bad Robot created plans for a new television series and other digital media products for Star Trek. Those talks broke down eventually, and JJ left the project, while a detachment of Bad Robot employees under the command of Alex Kurtzman jumped ship and formed a new company that is operating as a front for Bad Robot during the production phase of this new show. Meanwhile, CBS wanted more control over the creative direction and eventually fired showrunner Brian Fuller from the pre-production and asked Kurtzman and a few others to step in and get it back on track. All the while, CBS is acting as a front for the production conglomerate to trick fans into thinking that Star Trek Discovery is a continuation of the OG Trek shows through clever word uses and marketing, when in fact it is related back to that one Spock scene from Star Trek 2009 where he failed to save Romulus. Yeah, you thought that was a glimpse of OG Trek when in reality it was subconsciously planting the seed of a new prime timeline universe into your mind. Meanwhile, because of the financial troubles and poor fan reaction to Discovery, CBS is supposedly bluffing about creating 3 or more new Star Trek shows to generate buzz and financial investors about Section 31, Picard, and an animated series all falling underneath the new alternative Star Trek license that would keep things again 25% different and have no ties back to OG Trek, but with a plan in place to never let anyone figure this out ever. Whew, that was exhausting. Even for a conspiracy theory, that is just wow. The problem I have here is I can't disprove any of this with actual facts. I don't want to just create my own version of Emmy's conspiracy theory either, because that would be just as bad. The only things I will say are this. Paramount wouldn't need a new license to create the Kelvin movies. JJ supposedly was very frustrated over the confusing merchandising coming out from Paramount and CBS simultaneously, but there's nothing that suggests that a third alternative Trek license was issued for the Kelvin stuff. Additionally, if Paramount and Not Bad Robot were responsible for creating and filming Star Trek Discovery, why would CBS continue to take the bad publicity on the chin and not reveal that this wasn't entirely their fault? In fact, I don't believe CBS created this grand corporate conspiracy to defraud the public into thinking Discovery was something more than what it was. I believe they used their full legal authority over their IP, was handed a half-baked idea from Brian Fuller, then they panicked, and then they said, hey, let's get some of those bad robot guys over here because they seem to understand what Trek is nowadays. Another critical thinking question would be, if CBS had participated in a conspiracy to defraud the public about Discovery and what timeline it was in, and how they forced Paramount and Not Bad Robot to change everything by 25%, why the hell would they force the next 3 or more shows to do the same thing under this mysterious new license? With all the backlash and debatable success of Discovery, there is no money-making reason why CBS would continue to shoot themselves in the foot on the next set of television shows coming up. Why would they? They own all of Star Trek's IP. They don't need a third, mysterious license to limit themselves. It makes no sense. I don't think this is a conspiracy. I think it's literally just a string of bad ideas and borrowed Kelvin visuals that led to what we now call Star Trek Discovery. But again, I can't prove any of this because I wasn't there, and neither were they, or any of us for that matter. And all we can do is speculate. So for me, the real question is, how does a video like this achieve gospel status so quickly within the fan base? And believe me, it has. Well, think about this. Most of you clicking on this video already felt in some way, shape, or form that Emmy's video was a bit of a conspiracy, and you came here to see me debunk the hell out of it. I also purposely said the phrase conspiracy theory over 10 times throughout this video. So now what's happened is a lot of you have started to see this, and you're relating Emmy to conspiracy theories. Not because I'm a master manipulator, but because you already felt it in your gut. And having someone else restate what you're feeling and thinking gives you validation. Not only am I right, but other people agree that I'm right, therefore it's true. The same goes for Emmy's video. You hate Discovery and want desperately for it to be deleted from the Trek franchise that you know and love. So you watch their video, hear that they agree with your opinion, see hundreds if not thousands of likes and comments that do as well, and you feel validated in your thoughts and emotions. Instead of seeking out the truth for yourself, you sought acceptance. Think of it another way. Hundreds of years ago, most of us would have all believed that the sun revolved around the earth. Everyone around us would have agreed with that, and all the evidence presented would have also supported this idea. So therefore, the earth was the center of the universe. Until some guy comes along and says, hey, it's the sun. The sun's the center, dude. Surely this person cannot be right. Everyone that I know believes the earth is the center of the universe, therefore it is true, and I'm going to go out and find 100 of the people who will back me up. We don't want the information. We want the validation for feeling and thinking the way that we do, and to build a bond with like-minded individuals. Sadly, some of us are willing to stomach a lot just to fill that void, no matter what. I know a lot of you are going to flame me for saying that. Hell, I got plenty of that after I reported on the clickbait title thing a little bit ago. But I must encourage each and every one of you to spend the time to learn about these issues yourself. Take the time to read about the topic before forming an opinion based on misinformation and feelings, especially since it is, in fact, important to us all. One more thing to ponder about. I'm not that old, but I remember when everyone was blaming Rick Berman for making Enterprise and ruining Star Trek. Then I remember all of us blaming CBS for not doing anything with the franchise for years. Then I remember all of us blaming Paramount for talking about a new film series that didn't involve the old Trek crews. But then I remember all of us blaming J.J. Abrams for making the Kelvin movies. And now we're blaming CBS, Paramount, J.J. Kurtzman, and a myriad of other people for ruining Star Trek. There might be a time where this franchise dies completely, or we as fans begin to accept that not all Treks are created equally, and that we shouldn't crap all over it just for being different. You can crap on it for not being good television, sure. But things change, and maybe we need to be more accepting of these people's ideas moving forward with our beloved franchise.